While Seth Rogen's Mutant Mayhem proved that the Ninja Turtles brand is as strong as ever, it's about time the franchise made a serious return to live action. Surprisingly, Mutant Mayhem even managed to score higher on Rotten Tomatoes than both Barbie and Oppenheimer, outperforming one of the most beloved toy brands in history, and a Christopher Nolan epic is no small feat, and it solidifies Mutant Mayhem as one of the best TMNT projects to date. And while its box office numbers weren't record-breaking, the sequel has already been announced, along with a TV series called Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that will expand the Mayhemverse. But among all the upcoming TMNT projects, one stands out as the boldest move in years: The Last Ronin. Unlike the usual kid-friendly take on the Turtles, this one is a live-action adaptation aimed squarely at an adult audience. If that wasn't exciting enough, The Last Ronin is also getting a AAA video game adaptation. The original comic series is a brutal, emotional, and deeply personal story, making it the perfect candidate for a live-action Turtles movie that breaks from tradition. While past TMNT comics have had dark moments, The Last Ronin is on a whole different level. An intense, blood-soaked graphic novel that flips the franchise on its head. It's essentially the complete opposite of Michael Bay's movies. If you need a comic book comparison, The Last Ronin is TMNT's version of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. Just like how Miller redefined Batman for a new generation, Ronin gives us a chilling glimpse into the Turtles' future, and it's not pretty. The story takes place in a dystopian version of New York, where 3 of the brothers have been killed in a war against the Foot Clan. Only one remains. The comic initially keeps the identity of the last surviving turtle a mystery, and while I won't spoil it here, let's just say he's carrying the weapons of all 4 ninjas while being haunted by the ghosts of his fallen siblings. His mission is to take down the tyrannical Oroku Hiroto, the grandson of the Shredder. For those unfamiliar with the comics, it might be shocking just how violent TMNT originally was. When Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird created the Turtles, they weren't aiming for kids. The darker elements of the franchise were watered down over time, especially after the first animated series made them a global phenomenon. Nickelodeon's 2009 purchase of the rights only pushed the franchise further into kid-friendly territory, leading to flashy shows stray far from the original aesthetics. Overall, thanks to its overwhelming success, The Last Ronin has already expanded into a larger universe with a comic prequel, a sequel, and the upcoming video game. That makes it an even smarter move for Paramount to jump on the live-action adaptation while interest is at an all-time high. But The Last Ronin is also a bigger risk than a Mutant Mayhem 2. The franchise hasn't seen live action since the Bay movies in 2014 and 2016, and while animated TMNT projects are easier to pull off, live action runs the risk of making the Turtles look awkward. However, say what you will about Bay's Dilogy, they at least proved that live-action Turtles can work visually, which gives us hope for The Last Ronin. According to THR, the movie is officially in development at Paramount, and it will be the first R-rated Turtles movie. That means no holding back on action sequences. This could finally be the movie where a ninja actually uses his weapons as intended, no more avoiding real combat just to keep things marketable for kids. Imagine a movie with John Wick-style fight scenes. That alone is enough to hype up longtime fans who have outgrown the more sanitized versions of the franchise. The film has already assembled an interesting creative team. James Wan, known for Aquaman, is reportedly in talks to direct, which makes sense given his experience with both large-scale action and darker, more atmospheric storytelling. The script is being written by Tyler Burton Smith, and Walter Hamada is on board as producer. Now, Hamada is a divisive name in Hollywood. He was heavily involved in DC's recent film era, overseeing everything from the Conjuring universe to the Batman. Some fans are thrilled by his involvement, given his history with gritty, grounded films, while others worry he might drag the Turtles into the same studio interference mess that plagued the DCEU. What's more intriguing is that The Last Ronin isn't being treated as a one-off. According to reports, Paramount isn't just making a single movie. They're laying the foundation for a new TMNT cinematic universe unofficially called the Roninverse. Supposedly, the first part will include plenty of setup for sequels. Now, this could go one of 2 ways. If done right, it could lead to a compelling, long-form story that expands on Ronin. But if Paramount rushes to build a franchise before nailing the first movie, it could backfire spectacularly. What this movie really needs is to stand on its own. No forced post-credits scenes, no unnecessary teases, just one solid, gripping, R-rated TMNT film. If it's good enough, fans will demand more on their own. Of course, in today's Hollywood, sequels and franchises are inevitable. Paramount clearly sees The Last Ronin as a way to push Ninja Turtles into a more mature and mainstream space. But unlike other cash grabs, this project actually has the potential to be groundbreaking. If it stays true to the source material, it could do for TMNT what Logan did for Wolverine. a raw, emotional, and brutal reimagining that elevates the franchise beyond its usual tone. According to Joe Blow, the film will follow the core beats of the original comic, but will introduce fresh elements to keep even die-hard fans guessing. That's a smart move, especially for a story that's already beloved. If executed well, The Last Ronin could redefine what people expect from TMNT and cement the franchise as something more than just nostalgia-driven entertainment. For years, fans have wanted a Ninja Turtles movie that doesn't hold back. This might finally be it. No jokes, no kid-friendly slapstick, just an intense, character-driven revenge story with high-stakes action. The Turtles are growing up, and The Last Ronin is leading the way. Stay tuned.